The Smashing Machine is the newest movie from A24 and Ben Safdie, the same guy who is half the Safdie brothers. He's a great actor. He's made movies such as Daddy Longlegs, Uncut Gems, and Good Times. He is a great director. Always look forward to his movies. And this was my most anticipated movie of the year. I love MMA. I love UFC. And this is the story of mixed martial arts and UFC champion Mark Kerr on his rise in the late to mid 90s and early 2000s. It is about the Pride era in MMA. It is about the early UFC era. And of course, most people are not going to know about MMA. MMA is, I wouldn't say niche. It's of course at its peak currently, and it is growing day by day by day by day. But it's still this weird thing where most people go like, really? And like boxing is easier to digest, football's easier to digest. It's the hardest of like these major sports to really take down. So this movie was a risk, and it has showed, because it has only made 6 million in its opening weekend, and it needs at least 100 million to break even. And this isn't even taking it like extra charge into expense. This is like marketing and actually making the movie. I bet you the extra 50 million they spent here and there and here and there. So this movie will not even break even. It will not even get close. It will be a failure. And the thing is that they knew this was going to be a risk. They knew this. They were depending on Ben Safdie making a great movie that would just send waves. They were depending on The Rock, and they were depending on Emily Blunt. The Rock is not the same guy from 2018. People kind of see through the facade. When you see the guy order In-N-Out for the first time 5 different times, you're kind of like, okay, what? And I like him. I like him in this movie. I love when actors like, well, people who were in wrestling and WWE, such as John Cena and Dave Bautista and The Rock, switch over to more serious roles. I think a lot of times they absolutely kill it, because that wrestling is acting. And I know a lot of people are like, not everyone could be a good actor. I think most people could be a good actor, and I think this shows. Of course, The Rock was already a good actor, but he can really play a serious role, and he does it here. But let's get into this. Should the movie have bombed? Should you go see the movie? I really like this movie. Of course, I'm biased because I love MMA. I love UFC. I love this era of MMA and UFC. But I think it's a very good story. Now, it's not the deepest thing. It is a sports movie at the end of the day. Can you name me one sports movie that's so deep? No, it's sports. Now, I have seen some people online giving reviews that are very, go sports ball. Or like, I'm supposed to care about guys hitting each other in the face. Like very movie incel, which we'll get to in a second. But I think this is very good. I think there's 2 stories here. There's The Rock's personal life, or Mark Kerr's personal life, and then Mark Kerr in the ring. And I think it really helps you get into the mindset of an athlete and how they are in their personal life and how they're risking their body and their mind to really do good in this profession. And it's so interesting because it's MMA, which was definitely not mainstream then, and has really started to break through in this last decade with Conor McGregor and people like that. And so this time where you're not making much money, you're risking your body, the rules are insane, and you're trying to be the greatest, but it's just so demanding on you. And so you have these 2 lives. You have him on steroids and him ODing and all of this coming together. And I think it's beautiful. Now, is it the most special movie? No, but it's a great sports movie. I would say it's up there in the top 20 or so. It looks great. They do so much with the budget. I mean, you have The Rock who kills it, you have Emily Blunt who kills it, and then implementing these real fighters like a Ryan Bader, an Usyk, a Bas Rutten, who are real fighters, who are not actors, putting them as real actors in this movie. They kill it. Now, I know some people criticizing like a Ryan Bader. Is his acting top notch? No, but he was a fighter. This is his first movie. He does very well, and I really enjoy it. And I think he's a great secondary. I think he plays Mark Coleman very, very well. And so I love this. I love this back and forth. I love where we're switching between the personal life and the fighting. And they build up these storylines, and they keep it very realistic. After this, I went and watched some videos about Mark Kerr, and they do it so well. I think this tells a story great, and I think it shows a good light on MMA. I love MMA. I love it so much, and I love UFC, and I think this shines a good light on it, and this is a good introduction to the sport for a lot of people. I think the fighting scenes are good. I think the gore is great and really shows off MMA, which is very gory, and I think it's just a fun, good time, and the aesthetic is great, and it really feels like an early 2000s movie, this is when it's set, and I think it does the time period perfectly well. Like I said, it is a sports biopic. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the deepest movie. It's not going to have some deep, true meaning. It's just a movie about a guy who got hit in the face and OD'd and had a hard time at home. And it does that perfectly. I'm wearing the merch. I bought this for $50 in the A24 store. This was before I even saw the movie, because I was like, this movie's going to hit and I love this movie. I give it a 5 stars on Letterboxd. Realistically, I'd give it a 4, but I'm so biased. I think overall, it's an easy 8, if not 8.5 out of 10 movie. It's fun, it's good, you should go see it. It is so good on the big screen, it looks so great. And here is a shirt. I saw it a week early. I bought tickets, 2 tickets, about $50. Got it, 2 shirts out of it. Well, you know, one for me, one for someone else. And was it worth it? Shirt's kind of mid, but it's good for working out, and I had a great time. Here's what I was gonna get to about the Go Sports Ball people. They are such a they're just a toxin in the movie community, because I go and there's a lot of people you can tell just always buy these early movie tickets. They weren't there to actually just see The Smashing Machine, which is also such a good name. They were there to see a movie early and to post it on their Instagram story, and you can tell that's what they did. And after the fact, many of them were like, I don't know, just very much so incels. I hate using that word. I hate it in the big 2025. But I heard some people being like, I bet you The Rock could beat up, and I'm not going to say who, but a certain politician. And then I heard people in the restroom. It was actually good for how sporty it was. Like, stuff like that. Like, it was good for how much gore there was. Like, very, just, you know, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, dude? Like, I don't know. People like this are just, just very performative. Like, you can tell they're just going to like a movie based on what it has, not what it is. Of course, that's not a direct quote. It was good for how sporty it was, but it was stuff like that where they were criticizing, like, oh, this was actually good for a sports movie. Like, while we're all trying to pee in the restroom, like 20 of us. And, you know, people with their little I love movie pins and their little vests, and a lot of millennials. And yeah, let's just say there's a scene where something happens to Emily Blunt that is not very positive. It's a very upsetting scene, and 4 people start clapping. This is the type of people we're talking about. Yeah, no, I don't like the community within movies. I think they're very toxic. I think they're not very good, and I think they will lie about their opinions to get people to like them, especially women to like them. But yeah, I like The Smashing Machine. Is it perfect? No. But it's fun. It's a good sports biopic. Sorry, this has me burping. I can't tell if this is a really good flavor or it tastes like chemicals, but I'm gonna drink it. Should The Smashing Machine be bombing? No. Benny Safdie's great. He does a great job with this movie. It's fun. It's just very easy to get into. I love a good sports biopic, and this is exactly that. I love a good biopic. The Rock kills it. He should be nominated for an Oscar and, you know, other awards. Emily Blunt kills it. She's fun. She's good. And I like, most importantly, that this is a real story. I think that's the part that most people are going to have a hard time getting over. A lot of these biopics are the craziest thing ever, or a lot of these movies are so deep. This is about a guy who got hit in the face and was on drugs and steroids. It's not the deepest thing. He was kind of a meathead. But it's a real story about struggle and in this new sport that was really nothing at the time. And it's interesting and it's fun, and I really like it. Of course, they could have done better at some things. I think you should have had a bit more personal life. I think something like the scene in the hospital where he's talking to that mom who's like, isn't they trying to get banned? I think that should have been talked about more. They could have talked about way more during that time period. I think it should have been an extra 20, 30 minutes, but it's great. It's a good biopic, and I think it does Mark Kerr a lot of justice, and I think he thinks so too from the interviews I've seen. I really like this movie. The shirt was worth it. That shirt was worth it. I had a great time, and I'll end up probably seeing it again. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me know how you feel about it bombing. Do you think this shows something wider for the future of movies, or do you think this is just like a who's gonna watch a UFC movie? I don't know. This is my first video. Let me know what you thought. Subscribe.